time as he may consume. To the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Kelly, an esteemed member of our House Foreign Affairs Committee and the author of this bill.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for as much time as he wishes to consume.
Thank the Speaker, and I thank the gentlelady for your guidance and your leadership the last couple of years. It was a joy serving with you in foreign affairs. Thank you so much. I rise today in support of House Resolution 834 and urge the EU and member states to designate Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Hezbollah is called the A-team of international terrorist organizations by terrorism experts. Hezbollah was created by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps Quds Force in 1982 and is a primary terrorist proxy of Iran. Hezbollah receives weapons, training, money, and support from Iran and Syria. Hezbollah has left its bloody fingerprints around the world in the last 30 years. Hezbollah has been implicated in numerous deadly terrorist attacks against Europeans, Americans, and Israelis. In 1983, the bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, which killed 63 people. The 1983 bombing of the U.S. and French barracks of the multinational force in Lebanon, killing 241 American servicemen and 58 French soldiers. The 1992 bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires, killing 29 people. The 1994 bombing of the AMIA Jewish Community Center, the building in Buenos Aires in 1994, killing 85 people. The suicide bombing on July 18, 2012, that killed 5 Israeli tourists and a Bulgarian driver in the town of Burgas, Bulgaria, has all the hallmarks of a Hezbollah attack. Hezbollah has created violence and instability in Lebanon. In addition to terrorist attacks and political assassinations, it has launched thousands of rockets and missiles at Israel from within Lebanon. Hezbollah supports Bashar al-Assad's brutal, ongoing violence against the Syrian people. It is long past time for the EU and its members to join the U.S. and other allies and list Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. And I would ask the EU, as a recipient of the 2012 Nobel Peace Prize, to please wake up. The U.S. dated Hezbollah as a terrorist organization in the late 1990s. Canada and Australia, as well as the UK and the Netherlands, both EU members also list Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Failure to recognize and designate Hezbollah allows it to continue invading law enforcement, intelligence and security services, and it endangers the people of Europe. Hezbollah cannot claim to be a legitimate political party or a provider of social services when it refuses to abandon its terrorist agenda. Both the United States and the EU must be united in our fight against Hezbollah. This resolution, H-Res 834, urges the EU and member states to designate Hezbollah as a terrorist organization and to prevent Hezbollah from using EU territories for fundraising, for recruitment, for training, for propaganda, and any other activities. It urges the EU and its members to impose sanctions on Hezbollah for supporting the Assad regime's brutal violence against the Syrian people. And it affirms our support for Bulgarian government and its investigation of the July 18, 2012 terrorist attack and urges our President to support that investigation. It urges the President to provide information to our European allies regarding Hezbollah's terrorist activities, subversion of democracy in Lebanon, and the support of Assad's violence in Syria. This Congress has and will do all it can to urge the EU to do the right thing and list Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. In September, my good friend Gus Bilirakis from Florida, Mr. Deutsch, Mr. Israel, Mr. Siris, and I led a bipartisan group of 268 House members to send a letter to the President and the 27 ministers of the European Commission urging the Commission to include Hezbollah on the EU terrorist list. I might mention, Mr. Deutsch and I had talked one day walking into our offices about how well our staffs had worked together to forge this letter, to put it together. And we do things in a lot of bipartisan ways. I think sometimes it gets lost in the wash of other things that are going on. I especially want to thank all those members of the staff, and also one of my staff members, Mr. Isaac Fawn, for the tireless work he put in. Now, earlier this month, the Senate unanimously passed Senate Resolution 613, which also urges the EU to declare Hezbollah a terrorist organization. H-Res 834 has over 80 bipartisan co-sponsors. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on H-Res 834. And it's time to recognize Hizballah for what it is. If it waddles like a duck and quacks like a duck, it is a duck. This is a terrorist organization, needs to be recognized and designated as one worldwide. I thank the Speaker.